All right, so here is week 2, lesson 2, and our study on Tuesday. So we're going over part 2 of the lesson, determining the group scenarios. So 6A was the medical student researches the prevalence of aspirin usage and questioning all of the patients in our clinic for treatment. So what do you all think that one is?
I put convenience sampling.
Yeah, same here.
And I had marked it as a cluster.
Okay.
Because it wasn't taking a specific number, it was just basically everybody that came in.
Yeah, I was kind of confused between the cluster and the convenience.
All right,
I think it's because it's her clinic, and that's why it's convenient.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't.
So it's kind of like if I went to a mall and I wanted to ask the mall shoppers kind of how often do you shop? I think that's kind of what it's getting at. You're kind of catering to the mall shoppers that are already at the mall, so it's convenient.
Okay. The B. The Colorado Department of Health obtains an alphabetical list of 2 million adult Colorado residents and constructs a pool of survey subjects by selecting every 1,000th name on the list, randomly choosing one person with the first 1,000 on the list.
So to me, that one's probably the easiest. It's usually every nth name on the list. So I put systematic sampling.
I did too.
Yeah, same here.
And I agree. I thought that was the easiest.
Yeah.
Okay. In a Gallup poll of 1,059 adults, the interview subjects were selected by using a computer to randomly generate telephone numbers that were then called.
Okay. I put simple random sampling.
Yeah, I did too.
Hey, we're all in agreement. I like it. Okay. A dietitian has partitioned people into an age categories of under 18 to 49, 50 to 69, over 69. She is surveying a simple random sample of 200 members from each category.
Isn't that stratified?
That's what I put.
Yeah, that's what I put.
Okay. A Johns Hopkins University researcher surveys all cataract patients in each of 30 randomly selected hospitals.
So I put cluster.
I did too.
So I kind of got confused with that. Is it because that it's the hospitals that are randomly selected and not the cardiac patients?
That's the way I looked at it.
Because usually hospitals are all the same, right? Well, for the most part. And it's the patients that are different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's also that they surveyed all the patients, so the cluster is the entire group of whatever.
Yeah, it's not random.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I agree with the clusters on that one. Number 7. The American Medical Association wanted to determine general patient satisfaction with the patient's primary care physician. Determine the type of sampling method used in the following scenarios. So they take a simple random sample of doctors and then sample one of the patients, or all of the patients that the doctors work with.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cluster sampling as well, because it's kind of the same thing as the hospital and the cardiac patients, where it's random sampling the doctors, but it's taking all of the patients.
Yeah, that's the reasoning I had too. I put cluster.
Okay. I was looking at it as originally as like a simple and a convenience, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, usually if it says like all of the patients, I think that's kind of what they're going for. And if they're doing all of it, then it's not randomed, which means that it's clustered, I think.
Did they put all the residents' names in a computer and use a random number generator to get a sample of 100 patients?
I put that as simple random sample.
Yep, that's what I got.
Me too.
Me too.
Awesome. Okay. They divide the residents up by gender and then do a simple random sample of the residents within each gender.
I said stratified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
usually if it's like in a category, because when it talks about in the textbook, it's like strata, and strata
Right.
is like layers of sediment. And so if it's in different categories, stratified sampling.
You're good with that too, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay. They randomly pick key intersections in the city and then picking every fifth person that walks by after randomly picking one of the first of the 5 people to be in the sample.
Systematic sampling.
Mhm.
Every N.
Yep, every nth. Like, I agree with you that Joshua, that's probably the easiest one
Yeah.
to always pick out. Okay, number 8, determine for each scenario whether it's observational study or an experimental design. If it's an experimental design, determine the response, treatment, and subjects. So, okay. So the A is the Center for Disease Control obtains current flu data by randomly polling 300 men and 300 women.
So I was leaning towards experimental, but I'm trying to find my reasoning for this. I don't think they're really doing an experiment, are they? It's just more like
No,
data.
I just looked at it as observational
Okay.
That's what
because they just picked 300 people at random for their polling. They didn't do any type of
Treatment
giving
or
them a treatment.
variables.
Yeah, that's
I
why
think
I
that's what
picked
it was,
observational.
variables. Usually if you have variables, then that's kind of a experimental, or it's leading towards an experimental study.
Anybody else got any thoughts on that one?
I think just kind of the criteria for it is just that, yeah, they didn't alter anything. They just took the data that was there and analyzed it.
Mhm.
What about you, Mark?
That's pretty much what I got.
Okay.
And covered it.
You plan to conduct an experiment to test the effectiveness of Sleepies, a new drug that is supposed to reduce insomnia. So you randomly divide 1,000 patients into 2 groups, where half get Sleepies and the other a placebo. You record the gender of each subject, and then you observe how many hours of sleep they get in the week.
So it was asking about determining the response, treatments, and subjects.
Yeah.
So I think the easiest part is the subjects, and that would be the 1,000 patients.
Yeah.
And then the treatment,
The
well,
thou-
the treatment could be pretty easy too, and I put sleepies.
Yeah, the treatment Sleepies, and then it's experimental.
Mm-hmm. And then I think the variable was the last sentence, and that's how many hours of sleep they get in a week,
Yeah,
because that varies, the variable.
right.
Yep, those are
Yeah.
all the things I put. So right in line.
Awesome. You can be like me doing this on 3 hours. Let's see. In September, number 9, September of 2004, Nyquist Pharmaceuticals Incorporated announced the results of its first human trial, a topical form of skin ointment. A total of 224 patients diagnosed with skin irritations were randomly divided into 3 groups as part of a double-blind placebo-controlled study to test the effectiveness of the new topical cream. The first group received a 0.5% cream, the second group a 1% cream, and the third group received a placebo. Groups were treated twice daily for a 6-week period, and the degree of skin irritation was recorded at that time. So A, is this a designed experiment or an observational study?
I would definitely put experimental.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay. So what are the subjects?
The patients, 224.
Yeah, I put the groups of people sleeping.
Okay.
What is the response variable in this experiment?
Is it the 6-week period, or is it the skin irritations of the people being sampled?
Skin irritation
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be this one.
is what I would. And then what are the treatments?
I'd say it's the 0.5% cream and the 1% cream, as well as the placebo. So those are all
That's what I put too.
yes.
Yep, that's what I got.
Awesome. So that
Mhm.
concludes this part of it. So now let's go over to the wonderful I learned.
Oh yeah. Group quiz, I believe.
Yeah, because we want to make sure everybody gets in the same spot
Yeah.
here.
Right.
Let's see.
Because if that's the case, we'll be down to like a half hour, which I really like. So really
That's-
appreciate you guys coming with everything done.
hmm
Yeah, it makes it pretty easy that way.
So does
It
she
does.
suggest that we need to do part 2 before we come to the meeting? Because that's what I did. Or are we supposed to come here without it and answer them together?
I don't know. I think personally, from doing this for my econ class, when we did the group quiz, having everybody come with everything done, and then we only really discussed what we didn't agree upon,
Mhm.
that made the calls a lot more interactive
Mhm.
and helped when we didn't understand something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about efficiency. So, if we can get our questions done and answered and we're able to get this all done, it's beneficial for everybody and their schedules.
Yeah.
So, week 2, right?
Yep, we're on week 2, lesson 2.
Okay. Group
Because we
meeting.
got lesson 3 on Thursday or Wednesday. Do Thursday. Okay. So, we get 2 attempts allowed. Interesting. You should take this quiz with your group during the lesson to the link.
So we just start the
Okay.
quiz.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking at this. Says you have 2 attempts to complete the quiz. You can review your previous attempt at any time on this page. Click on the down arrow that's located directly to the drop down. Okay. So we'll go here. Group quiz meeting. Come on.
Just 15 questions.
Yeah. Okay. Then like the first ones, I completed the individual preparation assignment before attending the group meeting.
Mhm.
I think we each have to go in and do the group quiz part.
Yeah.
But I just want to also make sure we don't have any weird questions that we have to answer.
Yep.
Okay, while you are not required to work together on this quiz, each member of the group must submit his or own answers in order to receive credit.
Okay.
Okay. So the first question, researchers would like to determine if reviewing material consistently within an hour after class helps students perform better on exams than if students wait to review material the day before the exam. To answer this question, the researchers are trying to determine if an observational study or an experiment would be more appropriate. They are discussing who the population would be and how they will determine which sampling method will best represent the population. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process are the researchers currently applying?
I think that's design the study.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Number 4. A researcher has collected the results of the survey where the participants were asked how many hours of TV they watch each day. The researcher tallies the frequencies for each category and computes mean number of hours watched. She then creates a histogram to help illustrate the overall distribution. Which of the 5 steps of the statistical process did the researcher apply?
Looks like she's doing like a graphical one, so I'd probably say describe the
Say
data.
describe the data.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because we can only do one. Mumbai, India is a quickly growing city of importance in its own country as well as the global economy. A marketing research firm has been asked by a prominent fast food restaurant to help determine if the citizens of Mumbai would support this fast food business. For a list of all registered taxpayers, 3,000 names were randomly selected, and each individual on the list is mailed a brief questionnaire. The research received 1,049 responses. This population is
The citizens of Mumbai,
Yeah.
because the 1049 responses would be the sample, I believe.
I
Oh,
And then you'd have to infer
yeah.
from the sample to the population from that.
right. So I think citizens of Mumbai would be
Yeah, let's do that.
okay.
That would mean 6 would be the 1,049 people who respond then. Right?
Yeah, the sample. Yeah, the 1049. That
sample.
would be the sample.
Yep, the sample is okay. Studies have shown that the retention of classroom materials can drop by as low as 58% within 15 minutes of a class, and within 44% after the first hour. This forgetting curve continues so that within 6 days, only 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer this forgiving curve? The researchers in this study claim that constant review is important. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in a study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher then gives you a short 10-question quiz where your score out of 10 is recorded. What type of data is the teacher collecting?
I would say that would probably be quantitative because you can actually measure by numbers and put it in perspective, like the performance of the students.
I agree.
Well, the one below that,
The categorical.
yeah, I'm not sure if that. Well, guess we can compare. But for this first one, yeah, I'd probably say it's quantitative.
Yeah, because you're going to be able to measure, did the test stay the same or improve?
Mm-hmm.
Where in a categorical, you wouldn't be looking for that kind of result.
Which question are you guys on? I cut out for a second.
Oh, 7.
7. Okay.
We're deciding on quantitative
I
on that one.
think so.
Okay. Did I save it? I don't know. Save it again anyways. Okay. Number 8. Everybody's good to go on to number 8?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Studies have shown that the retention of classroom materials can drop as low as 58% within 15 minutes of a class and within 44% after the first hour. This forgetting curve continues so that within 6 days, 25% is remembered. How can a student conquer this forgetting curve? In this study, claimed that constant review is important. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invited you to participate in a study where you are asked to review a specific material 15 minutes after class for 10 minutes, an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after the class for 10 minutes. After the 6th day, your teacher asks you if you feel confident that you have retained at least 50% of the material. He then records your responses as yes or no, not sure. Oh, there's the categorical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the score out of 10. It's usually just these 3.
It's like no, yes, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's categorical.
Yeah, that was easy. Okay, so on this one we got the same beginning. Suppose your teacher wanted to test this and invite you to participate in a study where you were asked to review specific material 15 minutes after class, 10 minutes, and an hour for 10 minutes, and an hour after class for 10 minutes, and then again 2 days after class for 10 minutes. Your teacher also selects a group to give no review to the material over the 6 days. So this group is called the
Control group.
Control.
And the people that are getting that specific material, that would be the treatment group.
yeah. But I think we only get to
Yeah, it's just talking
You
about
can
the
only
ones
pick
that
one.
don't have
Yeah.
the material. So that'd
yeah.
be
So it's the control group.
or placebo.
Okay, question 10. Which of the following would be considered an experimental design? A telephone poll asking people about whether or not they vaccinate their children, administering the tuberculosis vaccination to one group and giving a placebo to another group.
That one.
Yep.
Yeah.
A census and a mailed survey. So let's do administering the tuberculosis vaccination.
Because with the mailed survey and the poll is that it's either people are very adamant or can express themselves online with a poll because they're and the mailed survey, well, they can either not do it or they can put all 10s, kind of like with that instructor survey at the end of semesters, or they could just lie. It's not very stable.
Right. So in number 11, we have a study to determine the average wage of working people in Mumbai. Which of the following would be the best sample? Every 10th worker that you meet as you travel on the streets of Mumbai, all of the workers in one working district of Mumbai, many randomly selected workers in each of several working districts of Mumbai, are all female workers.
That second to last one.
The many random.
Yeah, I picked that one.
Okay. Question 12. You want to become the next Jonas Salk and produce a vaccine that will help you cure children of respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV. You test the vaccine and compare it to the placebo and randomly choose one group of children to take the vaccine and one group to take the placebo. What or who are the experimental units of your subjects? And
The children?
the children,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's not the parents, it's not the administrators, and it's not the vaccine.
No.
Okay.
And then the treatment would be the vaccine and the placebo
Yeah.
for that next one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. What are your treatments? Vaccine and placebo? Okay, in 1992, the U.S. government supported a study that was run for 15 years where 4,608 low-income families were given a chance to move to less impoverished areas. They distributed vouchers and provided various support systems. The researchers wanted to determine if getting people out of poor neighborhoods would reduce the poverty level of U.S. citizens. Okay, the low-income families were randomly assigned to one of the following 3 groups. So the first group is MTO Low Poverty Voucher, which received Section 8 certificates or vouchers usable only in low poverty areas. So that was an area with less than 10% of the population below the poverty line in 1990, along with counseling and assistance in finding a private unit to lease. The traditional voucher group, which received regular Section 8 certificates or vouchers, geographically unrestricted, and ordinary briefings and assistance from the local public housing authorities. The control group, which received no certificates or vouchers but remained eligible for public or project-based housing and other social programs to which families would otherwise have been entitled. Experiment.
So I would call an experiment because you have a control group. And if you're observing, you don't get a control group.
No, and you wouldn't put people into categories to receive certain things over other things. So you got a placebo group or a control group that just gets to live life as normal.
And the others are basically treatment groups.
Yeah. Oh, match the following. Okay, so step 1 is going to be design the study.
Yep. And then collect the data would be that one.
Step 2. And then
I think truth, that would be describe the data, right? Or data.
step 3 is describe the data, yeah. 4 and 5 is take action, or step 4 is take action. So the way it get numbered on mine was 4, 3, 2, 1.
What?
If you look at the match, step 3 is number 4, describe the data.
Step 3 is 4?
Wait a minute.
So maybe we should go by Daniel can truth
Yeah.
more. So
Okay.
with Daniel, I put describe or design the study.
Right.
Can was collect the data. Truth was describe the data. Step 4, that was make inferences. And then discern, that was take action.
Okay.
Okay.
There's where I got it. Step 3 is take action.
I think it might have been randomly generated with the numbering on the right.
Yeah.
But on the 0 out of 15 questions saved, do you see a little gray exclamation mark or a little I?
Yeah. It just
I
says
did see
info
that.
item.
I think. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't catch one of these down here. There's 5 of them. Okay. Let me make sure I did this right. Take it. Okay. Step 1. Design the study.
Oh, it's just an info item. Okay.
Yeah, it's just an info item.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, guys.
Oh, did we miss one?
Did we?
I got a 97.65%.
You should be able to go back and look at it and see what.
I think I got them all. I think it might have been question 15. That one was a little tricky with like the numbering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't realize I had a 5th
Oh, yeah.
box.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going back and redoing
Yeah.
the last question.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you can go back and redo the test one time. Because it gives us 2 attempts.
Okay.
If that's where your mistake was.
Yeah, I think that's where it was.
Okay,
So I
design.
believe that's it, right?
Yeah. So we're good until Wednesday, same bat time, and it'll be a different bat channel.
Okay.
But now that I know what I'm doing, I can go create that really easy.
I
Yeah.
actually had one question about the p-value.
Oh, okay.
So this is the question I had. Is the p-value just a deviation from the null hypothesis and therefore an alternative hypothesis? Is that kind of what we're getting at with the p-value?
I kind of reread it, and when I reread it, I took it down to if the p-value was under 0.05, that was considered the norm,
Okay.
and you would have an alternate hypothesis if it was higher or lower than that.
Okay, and that's kind of where the audit was, if they were
Yeah.
overpaying or underpaying in certain areas. I think that's
Yeah.
what it was getting at. So it's kind of like a really, really small deviation. And
Yeah, it's
anything,
of the,
okay.
Yeah, so if it's a small deviation, that's your norm. And if it's anything to an extreme one way or another,
Mhm.
you have a problem.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
All right. So I will stop our broadcast here.